Yo. What's going on, everybody? How's it hanging? How's it happening? You know who it is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast, brought to you by My Song of the Day, Rock 2008. Top of the morning to you. It is St. Patrick's Day. I've got my Minnesota Viking St. Patrick's Day shirt on for the occasion. So if you're watching the video, you'll see that. And before we get in the episode, I gotta go with the shameless plugs. Of course, still trying to get advertising. It's around episode 61, but don't have that yet. So I'm still funding this whole entire thing myself. So we're just gonna plug my Song of the Day stuff. So if you are not following our Facebook page, which you can find out anytime anything is released on there, Twitter's a great place to talk to us. Instagram is our largest following, where you can talk to us and do so many different things with us. And you find, we talk to you guys on there. We ask you so many different questions. We do an Instagram live stream every single Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central. You can come talk to us for an hour, talk to me for an hour, and we have a great time doing that. We also have a behind the scenes IGTV series, which is like a behind the scenes vlog where I talk about the stuff that you're not really seeing every single Tuesday night that gets released. And yeah, also TikTok. I haven't posted really anything on TikTok in a long time, but yeah. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. That's where all the album reviews are coming out. I'm actually happy because this week is my last week of like the string of album reviews that I have. I'm ending with Code Oranges. Then I get a week off before all of a sudden we jump into Mother by In This Woman, one of the holdovers from 2019. So you guys are going to want to subscribe to the YouTube channel to get the full length feature on that. And then also here for the Chord Progression Podcast, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and you can watch the episode on Twitter as well. And also enable our Amazon Alexa skill, because that's you can hear the Song of the Day feature through and through. On our social media pages, you can hear the Song of the Day feature for about like a 30-second preview, but on the Alexa skill, you can hear it for, honestly, you can hear the whole entire thing for the whole entire day. Now, the Song of the Day feature, this whole entire project, this is a great way to rediscover the bands you used to love, discover bands you are going to love, get a giant appreciation for rock and metal and all the subgenres that surround it, and our Small Band Saturday feature, where all these emerging artists that are going to be the biggest artists coming up in, throughout the 2020s, you can find their stuff early on there. So go check that out as well. Links for everything in the description for the podcast. And now I got to go into story time, because yes, you have seen on the podcast or heard on the podcast, we have done a lot of interviews lately, and that is the goal, and that still is the goal. However, this week I'm by myself, and there's a very specific reason for it. It's because I had two bands scheduled to have podcast episodes released this week. And two things happened where we had to reschedule. Now, everyone knows what's going on with the coronavirus out there. And I was supposed to have this. I'm not going to say their name, because they have rescheduled and they should be. I will release an episode with them next week. They will be a Song of the Day feature on March 20th. So check them out. Actually, I'm going to say their name right now. They're a band called Stain the Canvas. They had a new album called, was it God Made Hell? Yeah, I think it was God Made Hell or Hell Made Me. God, I'm going to, I got to look this one up because I don't want to screw this up, because this band is awesome. As we go, it is God Made Hell. Okay, so that was released on Valentine's Day, the exact same day that Hollywood Undead released New Empire Volume 1. I absolutely love the album, and we had them scheduled to be a guest on the podcast, and we had the day picked out. We were going to shoot it. We were going to be good to go. I took the day off of work for this, and I was all ready, set to go. However, they are from Italy, and we all know what's going on in Italy right now with them being kind of the new epicenter of the coronavirus. I'm wishing everyone in Italy the best right now, due to the fact that, yes, we understand what's going on there. Take the proper precautions, because here in the U.S., it could easily just get that bad real soon. And, we're just hoping for the best, because it looks like it's passed in China and in the East. And now as it's in Europe right now as the epicenter, you guys are at the top of it, and you guys are going to end up, you guys will get past this. I think in the US, we still have, we're ramping up, to get to the peak of our coronavirus outbreak. But then again, we will be seeing that, curtail at some point. But I think you guys are at the peak of where you guys are at, and we're still coming there. So with everything that was going on there, especially in Italy, I spoke with the band's manager, and it just completely got lost in the shuffle because of everything that's going on there. all of the rescheduling, all of the cancellations, just trying to take care of everything. And I do not feel any ill will towards Stay in the Canvas on this. I'm actually incredibly happy that they are all okay and we're able to reschedule, because I am incredibly excited to talk to them. I'm hoping that they are doing the absolute best, because, well, guys, you're going to want to listen to that album, God Made Hell. You're going to want to listen to their sound, and you're going to want to listen to the interview when it comes out. So yeah, they're definitely still going to be on. We've got it all set up, ready to go, and I cannot wait. Now, I actually had another band that was going to be scheduled to be shot on the same day as Stay in the Canvas. They were one of our small band Saturday features back in, I believe it was on February 15th. Their name is Sad Kwando, and I had everything set up for them, but something happened to me actually on that day that would have rendered both the Stay in the Canvas one and the Sad Kwando one mute, because, well, I physically could not actually sit down and look at a camera for, however long we were going to do the interview for, because I was just going to roll with it and see how long it took, due to the fact that I went to bed. This is night of Wednesday, March 11th. So I go to bed. I'm feeling fine. I wake up at like 12:30 in the morning. Now it's March 12th. And my stomach got the rumbly tumblies. And I'm like, oh, this is not good. I'm just feeling a little sick. Hopefully this passes. But it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I mean, like, within the span of a couple of minutes, I'm like, okay, I really have something that's wrong with me right now. And I ended up, let's just say this. My stomach decided to reject its entire contents and exit them out of me upstairs through, vomiting, because I had food poisoning. Yes, I had food poisoning from some cod that I cooked the previous night. And I thought I did it right too, because I'd eaten this before. I defrosted in the microwave for about 14-15 minutes till it's, nice and defrosted. Then I pop in the oven at 450 at 25 minutes. And I thought I got it all, but apparently I may have just had a bad batch of it. So when I woke up on Thursday with both these interviews in the forefront, I thought, you know what? I might be able to get these done. We'll see what happens. But I got like no sleep because I kept waking up all the time, having to go to the bathroom, having to deal with this stomach issue. I just couldn't hold anything down. I couldn't even eat very much. And I was not too happy about it, guys, because, again, in the day and age that we're living in right now, I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. Well, I told myself, hey, if in this whole entire coronavirus thing, if the thing I get is food poisoning, I will take it, because now I feel perfectly fine. But then again, we'll see what happens. But so I was going through the whole entire day, taking naps, just trying to get my strength back up. I talked to Stay in the Canvas that day. I talked to their manager, and we had to reschedule. We set the rescheduled date, so we're all set and good to go there. But I was telling myself, like, I'll be good for the Sad Kwando interview. I'll be good. It's just food poisoning. We'll get through it. However, the worst was yet to come later on in the afternoon and in the evening, because with that lack of sleep that I had, I could not, function. I couldn't keep my eyes open, had this horrible headache, horrible stomach pain. I was laying on the couch watching F is for Family. Yes, the adult cartoon that's based in the 1970s, from the mind of one of my favorite probably my favorite comedian, Bill Burr. And I just couldn't do it. So I had to message them. I'm like, hey guys, I'm sorry to say this to the Sad Kwando guys, but I have to reschedule our podcast due to the fact that I have food poisoning and I cannot physically sit at a computer and do anything. I got to give credit to the Sad Kwando guys. They're like, we totally understand. We'd love to reschedule. And I was hoping to get them rescheduled in time enough to get that interview released today. However, that just was not in the cards. So I'm doing this one by myself. Sad Kwando is scheduled. You might get 3 next week. I mean, it looks like you're definitely going to get 2. One from Stay in the Canvas, one from a different band that I already had scheduled. I'm going to leave it as a teaser because that one's still set and ready to go. And then Sad Kwando might come up. I've got a couple other bands that I have in mind that I have features for. One is called Yours Truly. I'm going to talk to them sometime this week, see if we can get something set up. And I'm just going to keep adding more of these bands that I'm finding just to see if we can get them on the podcast, talk to them, and, get them out to you guys, because I'm really enjoying listening to these bands and really enjoying bringing them out to you guys. And because then you guys get to see some of the new music that's out there and see some of the bands that are, if you watch the YouTube videos when I talk about this with these interviews, these aren't small bands. These are emerging bands. These are bands that are going to be the big bands, and they're already gaining quite the following. So you're definitely going to want to listen to these guys and girls and everybody else that's in the band. It could be a monkey in the band, ooh, ee, ooh, ha, something like that, or a kangaroo, or it could be whatever. But if they're good, we want to talk to them. Could you imagine if someone actually had a monkey in a band, though? But not the monkeys, not the 1960s band. Like an actual monkey. Now that would be something. Okay, so enough with what happened to me. So now you guys got the gist of it. So do I have anything to talk about? Of course I do. And I'm not going to go into the new Code Orange album due to the fact that I have a full YouTube video set and ready to go to be released on Wednesday night following the Code Orange album underneath. So that is all set and ready to go. So get ready for that on Wednesday with the review. However, I do have to talk about this coronavirus. And no, I'm not going to be the guy that says, don't go outside, don't do this, try all this, basically regurgitate what everybody's saying, because I'm not a health expert. Basically what I'm going to say is the media is going to be pushing a certain narrative just to try and get people to freak out. Stay calm and listen to what the healthcare professionals are saying, because they're the ones that know what's going on and they're the ones that are dealing with the forefront of it. So that's what I'm going to say with that. But it has affected a great number of things. And ever since the U.S. declared a state of emergency over it, I believe it was on Friday, March 13th. I was still blasting Thank God It's Friday by Ice Nine Kills during that day. But it wasn't the best Friday. And then when they announced the fact that they were stopping travel between the U.S. and Europe for 30 days, and what else was there? The NBA can't. Postponing their season, and Major League Baseball, the NHL, the XFL, the PGA, NASCAR, disc golf. Yes, I said disc golf. There's so much that's getting canceled or postponed, and concerts are no different. So I was all set to go and see a concert on Sunday the 15th. I was going to go see Bad Omens here in Milwaukee, and I was super excited to go see them. Am I bummed that it's postponed? Yes, of course. I'm bummed. What else could I say about that? Am I mad at the decision, though? How can you really be mad at the decision? I need some water for this one, guys. That's better. So you can't be mad at the decision, because they're just trying to make sure that they're safe, we're safe. They're trying to make sure that everyone's safe and that we kick this virus's motherfucking ass, which we're going to. So they said they were going to postpone it till a later date. So waiting on that. I have another show for the future that's already been postponed, which show is that? I said in my head. We Came as Romans and Devil Wears Prada on April 10th. So as time goes on, we'll see what else gets postponed. I believe the In-Between tour with Black Veil Brides and In This Moment will also go the same route that I'm going to. And then we'll see what happens for the shows in May with Against Me, Volbeat. Trying to think who else is there. Maybe Less Than Jake is going to be in there. Hollywood Undead. That one I'm hoping doesn't get posted. Ginger. I'm going to the Indy 500 and on Memorial Day weekend. So hopefully that doesn't get postponed. Or if that gets postponed, but the Amity Affliction and Sleeping with Sirens concert is still going on, I'll go to that. And then As LA Dying in June. And then we'll see what happens with these festivals as well, especially the summer ones. Like for here in Milwaukee, or here in Wisconsin, I should say, Summerfest, Rockfest, Rock USA, and I'm going to Life Fest to see two bands we've talked to very frequently, Amongst the Giants we've talked to once, and the girls at GFM, Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh. So we'll get to talk to them. Well, I want to see them. So hopefully this all passes, which we know it will. We're going to go kick its ass. But we have to understand the fact that the concerts are going to be canceled. However, there was one show that was not canceled, and I did go to it. Yes. So on Saturday the 14th at a small venue in Lombard, Illinois. Guys, I've worked with a good number of these emerging bands. And this emerging band was one of the first ones we really got. I think this was the first one that really got into working with. And that was Kingdom Collapse. So I finally got to see them play live on March 14th on Pi Day 2020 in Lombard, Illinois at the Brower House. Yes, I did go. Yes, there were about 75 people there. So wasn't that, overall, like, it wasn't like, it was a small room, but it wasn't overcrowded to the point where, they're saying like social distancing. Yeah, we're still pretty distant apart from each other. But let me tell you a story about what happened that night. So I get there and it's about, I think I got there about 8. Yeah, I got there about 8 because I left my house around 6:30. It took about an hour and a half to get there from Milwaukee down to Lombard, Illinois, which is about, how far away is that? It was like 5 or 6 miles away from O'Hare International Airport, west of it. So it wasn't too bad. I mean, I've done the drive before, so I was expecting, some fun. And I get down there and I start, I was at the bar. Now, I've got food poisoning, so I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens. I really don't want to drink. Sit down at the bar, I get myself a water. And then these 2 guys come up and like, hey, can we sit at the bar next to you? Can you make room? I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? And they buy me a beer. Now, of course, my dad always taught me my favorite kind of beer is free. My second favorite kind is cold. And I got a free cold beer. So I got my first 2 favorite kinds of beers. And they got me a Miller Lite too. Miller Lite, great taste, less Philly. Not a sponsor. Yet. That's kind of just copying the doodad thing. Doodad. On YouTube, if you guys don't know what that is. But, so one thing that ended up happening was like, I sat there, we were talking, having a good time. And then these guys left because they wanted to go see Riff Raff that night because apparently this Brower House has a much larger venue and the rapper Riff Raff was supposed to play Saturday night, but canceled his whole entire tour as well. Again, understandable why you would. But I'll speak about, why I think Kingdom Collapse doing that or playing these shows was the correct move. And also kind of talk about how they have a gigantic opportunity going forward now. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But as I'm sitting there, I was talking with their lead singer, Jonathan Norris, just kind of seeing what was going on with them. They got there a little bit later. They had to get their stuff all set up at the hotel before they came over with all their stuff. I was like, okay, whenever you get here is whenever you get here. Sitting down, and I sat down next to this guy after a while. His name was Brad. And huge Kingdom Collapse fan out of Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. So that's rather close to me, about an hour and a half away. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. We're talking, having a good time. All of a sudden, here comes Jonathan, happy as all hell to see the 2 of us. And so we're hanging out with him, having a good time. The rest of the band comes over. Jonathan introduces us to the band. So we're having a great time talking, and we get to watch some of the other acts. And one thing I saw consistent from the other acts that were they were primarily Illinois acts. I believe, what were their names? One was called Full Brew. One was called Atlanta is Burning. And I think the other one was called The Silent Truth. So this band, Atlanta is Burning, went on first. Very small band out of the Chicago area. And one thing that really struck me was, one thing I've seen consistently now, especially with some of these more or smaller and emerging bands, is they're taking a crash cymbal and flipping it upside down. And it really gives it like a real good crash sound, but it's very quick. It's like, is it like a ting, ting, it's like a, that's probably the best way to put it. And I thought it was actually pretty cool. The drummer for Atlanta is Burning, I gotta say that guy does have some potential, and the lead singer as well, he had one hell of a scream, so I gotta give them props for that. All of a sudden, there was some confusion going on, who was going on next, because they had a total of 5 bands on the list, but one of them dropped out. I believe it was due to coronavirus concerns. But then this band called Full Brew was supposed to come on. Was it Full Brew? I'm going to feel bad if I get this wrong. So before I commit to what the name is, let me go to the good old Facebook page for that event. Can we quarantine the media for 14 days? Well, the big media, yeah, the one that's spreading all the crap, but don't quarantine us for 14 days because, we're just having fun out here. We're the good guys. We're the good guys. I'm not sure if I can find it right now because I'm trying to see where it is. Yeah, the only reason I'm kind of like, it seems like I might be stalling right now is due to the fact that I'm trying to find this. And let's see, calendar past. Brower House. What was the band's name? Because we had it was a Silent Truth. Was it Full Brew? Or Fool's Brew. My bad. Fool's Brew. So this band Fool's Brew was supposed to go on next, but the problem with Fool's Brew was their lead singer never showed up. So this band of Silent Truth came on. And one thing that me and this guy Brad that we talked about with the Silent Truth was, one thing we noticed was this band was very much had that feel that Seven Dust has. And I mean, if you guys want to go take a listen to them, I would suggest, if you guys like Seven Dust, give them a shot. They went off, and all of a sudden we were expecting Kingdom Collapse to go on, but all of a sudden Fool's Brew was going to go on because the lead singer from Atlanta Is Burning was going to go on and sing for them, and they're going to have I think the guy from A Silent Truth showed up for a point. And who else showed? And then like some other guy showed up as well. So they kind of had like a hodgepodge in there. The drummer, the guitarist, and the bass were all, the same guys from the band. And when I found they were going, I'm like, okay, let's take a look at time. It was like 11:30. I'm like, oh dear Lord. Due to the fact that, again, I have to wake up at 7 a.m. I always wake up at 7 a.m. on that Sunday, and I still had an hour and a half to drive back. So the one thing I didn't want to have happen was all of a sudden, okay, King Collapse goes on, they go on super late. They come off, it's like 2:30, and I don't get home till like 4:30, and I don't get enough sleep. But I really wanted to be there due to the fact that I really want to support Kingdom Collapse. I believe they have a fantastic sound with their new song, Falling Beneath, their other song, Payback, which hit Octane a couple of times. And God, I know they said that they just had a song that hit 1.5 million listeners on Spotify. And God, the only reason I'm looking this up right now is I just do not want to butcher the name of the song. Or was that was it Suffer or Bring Me Down? It wasn't on Spotify, it was on YouTube. So let's go to YouTube to see which one it is. Let's go Kingdom Collapse. I believe it's Suffer that hit 1.5 million views on YouTube. Yep, it is Suffer. So, and Payback is still at 19,000. So, and their Falling Beneath lyric video is getting more views as well. Their Bring Me Down videos got almost 100,000. So you can tell these guys definitely have stuff going on for them. And we were getting set up, and all of a sudden Brad and I were finally down like in front of the stage. We're like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. And all of a sudden it's like 12:30, Kingdom Collapse goes on, and I gotta say, they were freaking fantastic up there. I will have the videos on the YouTube video as well, kind of right next to me, so that you guys can take a look and see kind of what the videos look like, what I saw, and, kind of what they sound like. Overall, again, they sounded really well, especially from what I could hear. It is a smaller venue too, and I think like the setup was a little bit rushed on the Brower House part, to where it's kind of like I'm not sure if the acoustics were perfect, but if you watch the videos though, especially on our Instagram page, you can definitely hear the fact that King Collapse is a fucking great band, and I absolutely love being able to see them live for the first time in a small venue, and being able to get out, especially amongst this hysteria as well, just to kind of get out of there and just kind of just enjoy, just due to the fact that, we really, really, really need that in today's day and age, just because it was nice. I ended up getting to say, after the show, I don't know how much more I can say about the show, just outside of the fact that it was awesome seeing a band that I've been able to talk to and work with for maybe about a little bit under a year at this point right now. See some of the growth they've had through getting a couple of songs on Sirius XM Octane, to seeing Suffer get 1.5 million views on YouTube. And see the fact that, now they're going to be touring in the summer as well. Now, again, with the whole entire coronavirus thing, a lot of this stuff is still up in the air. But I can't wait to see what they do in the second half of 2020 when the coronavirus thing is all past us. Seeing what kind of festivals they get to play. And one thing that I did tell John after the show was, I was about to leave because it was like 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, hey, I'd like to stay and have a couple drinks with you guys. However, I got an hour and a half drive home, so I'm going to hit the road now. Loved it. Thank you. I did get a couple of videos though. I wasn't going to post them that night. I ended up posting them on Sunday night. And one thing I said was, I'm going to end up tagging other bands in these like personally so that they can see what you guys sound like and hear you guys. And then it's like, okay, let's listen to some of like what they actually have and sort of like, fully produced, the tracks that are streamed on Spotify, what the videos look like, just kind of starting them down the rabbit hole. And he's like, well, here's a band that I like. Here's a band that we kind of want to open for at some point. So kind of revolve it around them. Like, and I think they said it was Seven Dust. I'm like, once you say Seven Dust, like I have a good range I can go off of. So I think I did Fit for a King, Bad Omens, and Shine Down, and Seven Dust. So one thing that I want to do with that was because, look, this is going to be the last two pieces I have when it comes to this whole entire thing. And one of them is around coronavirus. Well, both of them are around coronavirus, but one of them is about the music itself. One's about the concert. So I'm going to go with the concerts first. With all the live shows that we've seen, and all of a sudden, you're seeing them postponed, a lot of these larger bands that have these shows that are going to be that are postponed, they are doing their damnedest to reschedule these for a later date. And I absolutely love the fact that they're rescheduling these because, yes, I as a person that's going to these shows myself, I bought tickets for this stuff. And I really want to, it's not that it's like if they ended up having to refund me and give my money back, okay, whatever. But I would love to see that basically what I love to see is I love to see them reschedule for a later date and then be like, if you can't come, we will offer you a refund because of what happened. However, if you can come, we'd love to see you there and your ticket will still be valid and still be honored. And I hope I get to see as many of them as I can. And one thing that comes through with all of that is they've got opening acts for them too that are traveling with them. What happens if for a lot of these bands, what happens if they're scrambling to find new opening acts because some of them on these rescheduled tours, they can't really play with them. Maybe it's just because, due to prior obligations, that's probably actually the most part about it. So what if like an opening band was scheduled to play, for like Bad Omens on their tour right now, but all of a sudden Bad Omens is going to be doing something in the US like late summer, early fall. They're kind of reschedule everything they missed from this current tour, but one or two of their opening acts can't do it because they're already scheduled to be an opening act for a different band. Well, who's going to come and fill that spot? Ding, 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 ding. This is where Kingdom Collapse can come in. And this just doesn't pertain to Kingdom Collapse as well. For a lot of the emerging artists out there, if they are listening to this, this is a great opportunity to get your music out there, get in the know with a good amount of these bands because they might be looking for opening acts to replace some of the ones that can't make it on these rescheduled tours. Kingdom Collapse is the perfect example of it. And the reason I think that is because they have a hard rock and like a little bit more in a metal sound as well. So when you're dealing with, if you're going to open for someone like Shine Down or 3 Days Grace or Breaking Benjamin, you can use that sound that's going to keep the crowd amped up and you're going to kind of have that same consistent feel of, energy from the opening act, which might be them, to the headliner, which might be Breaking Benjamin, which might be Seether, which might be Shine Down, which might be 3 Days Grace. You don't know. But the reason I bring that up is because you kind of can really build on that. And it's like, or you can have that consistent, consistent energy where you're not going to end up taking a lot away from the top billed artists. Now, guys like Seven Dust, Fit for a King, and Bad Omens, yes, they have a harder, more rapid sound than Kingdom Collapse does. However, if you put Kingdom Collapse at the first and all of a sudden you're building up to it, so you're starting out at a base and you're adding to that energy, so it doesn't feel like you're being brought down, it feels like you're being pumped up, and it's the perfect place for them as well. They're in a great spot to do this, and that's why I've tagged some of the bands on this because, you know what? Why not? All of a sudden, if these guys deserve to be right now, they've got potential. Let's put it this way. They have had singles played on SiriusXM for quite a rotation, and they have good stuff, guys. Cannot lie on that one. So that's why I've kind of been pushing it a little bit with what I can do and listen to their new single, Falling Beneath. It's streaming on all services everywhere. But now I'm going to end it with this because, yes, I'm not going to go very long on this one specifically due to the fact that normally we have interviews for this one. Plus, I'm just going to prime it and say, just get ready for next week, guys, because holy crap, I'm going to have interviews ready for you. But in the end, this is one thing I got to say about this whole entire coronavirus thing. And this is for everybody. And it all revolves around music as well. So that is the key. It all revolves around music. So how does it all revolve around music? Take a look at everything that's happening right now. A lot of things are getting canceled. A lot of things are getting postponed. And concerts are getting postponed. I mean, sports, organized sports here in America are pretty much on the shelf right now. And that is a huge part of our culture here. Whether it's, right now, the NBA should be in full swing going to the playoffs. NCAA March Madness is canceled. That is one of the biggest, that might be single-handedly the biggest sporting playoff here in America is NCAA March Madness. It's not the NBA Finals. It's not the NHL Finals. It's not the MLB playoffs. I don't even think it's the NFL playoffs. The reason is so many people get invested into March Madness that don't even get invested into sports at all because of how much fun it is. That it's now that's gone. The Masters golf tournament, that's postponed. Everything is postponed. Races are postponed. I mean, so many things are postponed that. And kind of on the shelf right now, social gatherings, they're trying to limit the amount of people on that. Travel, even work. A lot of people are supposed to be working from home. I mean, I'm probably going to end up having to do the same thing at some point too. So we'll see how that ended up pertaining to what we're going through. But one thing that is real consistent right now and what a lot of, musicians can take advantage of is this time. And what a lot of people like us, the people that enjoy music, the people that listen to music, this is a time where music means more to us than anything. And what I mean by that is music gives us that opportunity to really get lost. Whether it's getting lost in your emotions. For me, it's like all of a sudden, like if trying to, remember, like the loving emotions, listen to something like Lost in You by 3 Days Grace, or if it means a lot to you by A Day to Remember. If trying, deal with those anger emotions and trying to just be honestly angry, or persevering through everything, like this can't stop us. Even if you get sick, even listening to music can really amp you up to the point where create your mood to go from I'm depressed because I have this disease or this virus and I need to get rid of it. So how can I stay motivated to do it? Music is a huge help because think about it. If I'm trying to find somewhere I'm going to, be determined to beat this. I mean, I'm listening to a song like Attack by 30 Seconds to Mars. I'm going to listen to Not Gonna Die by Skillet. I'm going to listen to Popular Monster by Falling in Reverse. And it's just a way where we can get away from everything and really get lost in it. Yes, another way to do that too is with television as well, because and even like you streaming services like Netflix, YouTube, because one thing that they have to provide us with is entertainment. But when it comes to music, it gives us a lot easier chance to get lost. It's another thing that we can really get lost in. And one thing that I said on our previous live stream before this episode was that no matter what, this show is still going on because in this time of all the virus and stuff and pandemics, one thing that we've noticed is, or that I've noticed is, it gives me like a great opportunity to just keep going on with what we're doing because I absolutely love doing this. Say I have to work from home or something, all of a sudden, what happens if I have to work from home and my work computer all of a sudden my work computer fries or I don't have anything I can do and I'm waiting for my boss to, be like, hey, I need you to do this now. Even though I told him an hour ago, like, hey, I'm open, give me some. I could be doing something like this too. I could be creating content for you guys. It's all of a sudden, help everyone get away from what's going on and help you kind of just get lost in the music and just enjoying it for a while the world around us is trying to fight off this virus, which again, we will, but all depends on when. So yeah, just put your faith in yourself, put your faith in the music as well, because music will help you get through this. I mean, if I need to get through, you guys know what I'm going to listen to. You guys know I'm going to be listening to Rise Against. You guys know I'm going to be listening to Disturbed. You guys know I'm going to be listening to Ice Nine Kills. Some 30 Seconds to Mars even. Let's see what else. Some Anti-Flag. Motionless in White. Skillet. I'll listen to some more Kingdom Collapse, some more Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh. Amongst the Giants. Stain the Canvas, which I listen to all the way going down to Chicago. And then the new albums that are coming out as well. So that's one thing I absolutely love from musicians too, is like, you know, the fact that we get to still get new music during this time. So you're going to get new music from August Burns Red at the beginning of April. You're going to get new music from Red in the, you know, April 10th. You're going to get new music from In This Moment. You're gonna be getting new music from Trivium at the end of April. So there are plenty of bands that are gonna be releasing new music for us to sink our teeth into during this and really enjoy. And you never know, one of these albums could really, really hit it off due to the fact that it connects so well with people that are going through this whole entire with coronavirus. It's something that could easily happen, and I'm all for it. So that's going to be it for me for the podcast today. We will have a lot more interviews coming up because I do all the interviews via Skype, so I don't have to do it person to person, and you guys can still get in with these bands. And because by the time, you know, all this quarantine stuff, listen, the virus stuff, we've beaten it, and all of a sudden all these bands are coming back out on the road and you get to go and see them live. We're just going to be ready for them, and God, that music is going to connect with us on so many different ways. So until next time, guys, I want you to remember, don't get paranoid by what the media is telling you. Just stay safe, stay healthy. This is Kevin from the My Song Day Rock 2000 a Day presents the Chord Progression Podcast. You guys know I end all these videos with my big hearty